Hi guys, you probably clicked on this video because you want to learn how to edit in iMovie. If that's the case, then you've totally come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to add cute text like these, add graphics like these, add sound effects like these, how to do zoom-ins like these, and so much more. If you are interested in learning how to do all of this, then just keep on watching. Alright, so first thing I do is I'll plug this dongle into my laptop. This is just an Apple one. And if you have a laptop that has a USB reader, then you don't need this, but mine doesn't. And then I will plug this SD reader. This is just from Amazon, but I will plug this into my dongle. And then I will just plug in my SD card into this reader. This is really hard to do with one hand, like that. And now I'm going to switch to a screen recording. So after I plug in my SD card, something that looks like a little drive will pop up on your desktop. You can either press that and open up that folder to view your files, or if you want to just import them directly into iMovie, then you can open up iMovie. If it's not on your desktop, then you can go up here to the top right to the search and search iMovie. And then you can open that up. Once it's up, if you have any existing projects, then they'll be here all listed. But if you are starting a new project, then you want to click the plus sign where it says create new. You want to select that and then press movie. And then it'll take a minute and it'll bring up this screen, and this is where you're going to edit your video. So to import your footage from your SD card, you're going to press the arrow at the top left, and then it'll bring up this page. So on the left hand side, you can see whatever device is selected. So it says that I'm on no name, which is my SD card. So you can see all the files that are on my SD card. There's not that many. Or you can also select them from different places such as your desktop or wherever you have the files. So typically I will always be selecting them from my SD card. So I'm going to press no name, and then this is where you select whichever files you want to import. If you just want to do one, then you're going to press import, and then you go to the bottom and press import selected. If you want to do a range, then you can highlight that with your cursor like this. If you want to say do this one and then skip a few and then do the last one, then you're going to hold down command and you can select both. And then whatever you want to import, you're going to select it and press import selected. And then it will import it into this top left corner. You can see I have a ton of stuff imported, and that is where all your files will be. So when it comes time to actually importing the file into the video, you want to select whatever file you want to add. So I'm going to select this file right here. You can see it gets highlighted in yellow, and I'm going to drag it to the bottom, and it will import it into where I am going to edit the video. So just a few basics of iMovie. To zoom in and out of the clip so you can edit more precisely, there is this bar on the right hand side, kind of in the middle. So if you slide it all the way to the left, you can see how small it gets, and it's really hard to get precise. But if you slide it all the way to the right, then the clip gets a lot larger and you can get super precise when it comes to editing and cutting clips. So that brings me into the next basic of iMovie, which is to actually cut the clips. So this is when you want to do a rough cut of your video and you want to cut out all the ums, the awkward pauses, the mess ups, things like that. So you want to select where you want to cut. You're going to select it just using your mouse. It'll have this bar that you can see up and down right here. That's just the slider that it uses to select something. So say I want to cut right here. The reason I'm choosing to cut right here is because I can tell down here where the audio graph is that there was a long pause before that, and I know that I don't want that in there, and I can see that I begin to talk after that. So I'm going to select right here with my mouse. You want to make sure that the video that you're cutting is highlighted in yellow, and then you can do one of two things. You can either right click it and then press split clip, or you can just do Command B, which is usually what I do just because it's quicker, and then you will see that the clip is now split up. So if I want to delete the first clip, you want to make sure that the clip you want to delete is highlighted in yellow. I'm going to select it, and I'm just going to press delete or backspace on my keyboard, and then now it's gone. So say I want to play this video. Wait, let me turn my light on. You can hear that I am clearly talking. So basically you want to go through this entire video. You want to cut out all the awkward pauses. I, again, keep looking at the audio graph. It's really helpful. It's also helpful, again, to have the slider all the way to the right or pretty close to the right over here, just so that you can see when you're not talking. It makes doing the rough cut a lot easier. Another thing that I do during this rough cut is I keep a list, whether it's a note on my phone or something I'm writing down or a note on my laptop, but I keep a list of all the text I want to add because I don't add the text through the iMovie software, I use Keynote, which I'll go over in a second. So I would keep a list of any text you want to add just because it makes it easier when you are adding it. So I'm going to go through and cut out all the awkward pauses, and then I will show you the next step. Another thing that I want to note is that you can use the spacebar on your keyboard to pause and play the video. It makes it a lot easier than constantly pressing pause up here. So that's also definitely super helpful. All right, I didn't do the whole thing right now, but I just want to get a little bit done just to show you how I go through and do the rough cut. So the next thing I'll do is add any text that I want to add. So to do this, I don't do it through the iMovie program. I know that there's this title page over here and you can add these, but it's pretty limited and you don't have much creative freedom when you do that. So I use a different app, which is called Keynote. So I'm going to go to the top, search for Keynote, and I'm going to open that up. This comes with your Mac, so it's free and it's pretty easy to use. It'll bring up this page as if you want to open an existing Keynote, but you can just press New Document right here, and then it'll bring this up. I always select Basic White just because it's the cleanest one. So I open that up, and then I will just delete 2 of the 3 text boxes that are already on the page, and I'll just be left with this one. So here, if you want to add text, you want to technically make a green screen. When you are editing in iMovie, green screens are going to be your best friend because that's what gives you the most creative freedom with iMovie because it is a little bit limited. So over here, you want to be on the page that says Slide Layout under Format, and you want to go to Background, and you want to select the second green from the top, and that'll make your background green, and this is the correct green that you want in order to make it a green screen. Then I'm going to go in and edit my text. So for example, let's say that I want to write welcome to my channel. So I'm going to type that in. I, for some reason, usually like to have it not capitalized. I don't know why, it's just a choice that I make. And then I'm going to go over to text. I'm going to center it, also center it in the text box. And I'm going to slide it down and make sure it's centered within the page. You can tell when it's centered because you'll have a plus sign of yellow lines through the page. So I'm going to center it, and then I also want to make it white. So after I have whatever I want, I'm going to go to the top left. I'm going to press File, and you want to export it as an image. I'm going to press Next. And then I usually just save it to my desktop. So say I'm going to just title it Welcome to My Channel. Save it to your desktop, and then you can press Export. And then this is when you're going to go back to iMovie. You're going to press the arrow at the top left, just as you did when you were importing files. And you're going to go to the desktop and select what you want to upload. In this case, it looks like it's a folder, but you just want to select that, press Import Selected, and then you'll see it's imported. So when you actually want to upload this into your video, you're going to drag it in just as if it is a normal clip. And then you want to make sure that it's selected and highlighted in yellow. And then you're going to go up here to the top, press this little crop tool. You want to make sure that it's on fit, and then you want to go over here to where it has the 2 rectangles and select green screen. And then now if you play it, you can see that it's in the background right there, and it looks like I just added text on top of the video. So this is just an example. I typically wouldn't write welcome to my channel right there, but I just wanted to give a quick little example of what the text looks like when you add it. So that is the basic of how you add text. Just for an example, I also used Keynote to make my intro and outro, but I can do a whole separate video on how I did that if people are interested. I'm not going to go over that in this video. Adding graphics to your video is also very similar to adding text. I use a website that's called RemoveBG. It just allows you to turn any image into a PNG, so there's no background. So I just airdropped a photo of my dog to my computer, and that's the one I'm going to use for this video. So I'm going to select it. You're just going to upload it to this website, and it'll take a minute for it to remove the background. Here you can see it remove the background. It's pretty accurate. It does a pretty good job. It's not exact, but it works really well. So I really like it. And then I'm going to download it onto my computer. So just press download. So you can see that it's downloading right here. It already finished. Now I'm going to open back up Keynote, again, start a new document, and I'm going to just delete the text on here. And you want to upload the picture to this Keynote. So you're going to go to Media, choose, and then you're just going to find it on your computer. I found it. I'm going to press Insert, and then here it is. So I'm going to say I want it that big. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to, again, make the background the same green, so the second one down. And now I'm going to save this as an image. Same thing we did with the text. I'm going to just title it Dog, put it on my desktop, and I'm going to open iMovie back up, and I'm going to insert it. All right, so I have it right here. I'm going to scroll to where I want to add it. So say I want it right here. I'm gonna drag it in. Again, select it as a green screen at the top right. And now I can see my dog pop up right there. The one tricky thing with this is that if you don't like the position of wherever the graphic that you just had is, then you have to go back to Keynote and change where it is on the actual document. So say I wanted him to be more in the corner. You're gonna change where it is, save it again on your computer, and then you'll have to re-add it onto here. I know it's kind of a pain, but it's kind of just a workaround with iMovie. That's kind of just how iMovie is. Now let's say I want to add music. I get all of my copyright-free music from either YouTube copyright-free music, or I will do SoundCloud, or I will just Google copyright-free music and I'll download it onto my computer. So I already have a few downloaded, so I'm going to press the arrow once again. I'm going to go and find it in my desktop. So I have a whole folder of songs on my desktop. So say I want to add this one, import selected. And then I already had it imported, so let me just find it real quick. I'm gonna do this one right here. Once it's imported, you want to drag it into your video just as you would any other thing. There are two places you can put it. You can put it right underneath the video right here, or you can put it into the music section over here. I usually put it in the music section just because I think it looks cleaner and it helps me kind of decipher between sound effects and music. So when you put the music in, you have a few options of creative things you can do. You can change the volume of the music right here with this slider. You can make it extra loud, make it extra soft, or you can keep it how it was. If this is too difficult to use, you can also go up to the right corner, press the speaker icon, and then you can also use this slider bar to change the volume. If you ever wanted to completely cut the volume of something, you can also press the speaker and it'll delete the volume. Another thing you can do with music is use these sliders to fade it in and out. So let me play it and you'll see what it sounds like right now. So it kind of starts abruptly. So say I wanted to have it fade in a little bit more, you're going to select this little slider right here and I'm gonna drag it in and you can see that it's starting a fade. So now you can see the difference with what it sounds like. So it starts a little bit more softly and kind of just flows better within the video. Same thing you can do with the end of the song as well. You can have it fade out. It just kind of helps the video flow a little bit better, and I usually do the fade in and out a lot. Another thing you can add to your video to make it a little bit more yours and creative is you can add sound effects. So iMovie comes with some of their own sound effects. So you can go to audio and then go to sound effects right here and it'll bring up a bunch. If you press where it says right now transportation, it'll bring up all of these different folders of sound effects. So you can definitely use these. I've also gotten sound effects off of YouTube. I just have downloaded them. So say I want to add the clicking noise. This is one that I downloaded. So I'm going to search click right here, and then it'll bring up the click sound effect, and I'm going to drag it into my video where I want it. So this is why I like to have the music down here, just because I feel like I'm able to be more precise with my sound effects. So I'm going to slide it over. I can see in the sound right here where the actual click sound effect is. So I'm going to slide it over so it's right in between those two clips, and then I'm going to play it and see if I like it. So I think it starts a little bit early. So I'm going to slide it over a little bit. And then that's kind of a good transition one. People always do like swooshes, or you can also do the button pop noise, things like that. But it's super easy to add sound effects, and I think it just adds a little extra touch, which is nice. Another thing you can do with your video is a lot of times I will want to have the audio of one clip, but have the image of something else or the video of something else. So say I want the audio of this, but I want to have the final product of what the pancakes looked like. In this case, I was making pancakes. Then you're going to drag the pancake clip on top, just like that. And now I'm going to silence the top clip of the pancakes just because I want to only have the sound of me talking down here. And then you can see what it looks like.
I like bananas, so I feel like
I wouldn't have this clip on top of it in my own personal opinion, but I just wanted to show you how you can quickly layer clips and it adds a really nice touch. Also helps the video flow, which is so important in order to have good watch time. Another thing you can do is say I wanted to have this clip, but I wanted it to just be like a pop-up. I didn't want it to take over the whole screen. Then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna drag it in just on top of the clip, and I'm gonna go over to the two rectangles again. And instead of pressing cutaway, I'm going to do picture in picture. And then you can see it pops up right here. Something you want to make sure you do is turn the dissolve off. So I'm going to just press 0 seconds because otherwise it'll fade in and out, which is not something I want. You can change the size using these little sliders. And then I'm just going to center it within my frame. Again, you can see the yellow plus sign. And now you'll be able to see that it just pops up. So it's kind of just like an overlay on your video, and it can also add a nice touch. If you want to delete it, again, just select it, backspace. A few other fun touches that people often do are like the little zoom in. If you want to highlight something that was funny or something like that, then you can always do these little tricks. I think they're really fun and they add a little bit of personality to the video. So say I want to highlight where I say I like bananas. I know, very random, but say I want to. I'm going to split the clip that I want to have the zoom in. So I'm going to split right before it, Command B. I'm also going to split right after it, Command B. So if I want this to be just a quick cut and zoom, then I'm going to select it, go over to this crop tool, and I'm going to press crop to fill. And then this is where you can use these corners and drag it wherever you want it to crop to. And this is what it looks like.
I like bananas.
So you can see it just adds a little bit of emphasis, it zooms in just a little bit, and it just adds a little bit of something to that clip. Instead of doing the quick zoom, if you wanted to have it zoom in slowly towards a certain point in the video, then you're gonna press Ken Burns. Here you can see that there's a start and an end frame. So you wanna press the end frame so that you can move wherever you want. And say I want it to zoom in to just my face, then you're going to move the end frame. You can see the yellow arrow, which is where it's telling you it's going to end. And this is what that looks like.
I like bananas.
So it kind of zoomed into my face, added a little bit of comic relief. Again, would I actually do this in my video at this point? No, but this is just an example of what it looks like. Now for adding green screens or overlays, I usually will get mine from YouTube again. You can just download them. I don't really use these a lot, but I know a lot of people do, so I wanted to still show you what they looked like. So this is one that I downloaded. It looks like a little fast forward thing. So if you go on YouTube and you just search green screen overlay, then a bunch will pop up. You can just select whatever one you like. So say you like this one, then you're just going to copy this, convert it to an MP4 file, and then you can add it to your video. So that's how I got this little fast forward one. So I'm going to drag it into my video where I want it. Say I only want it for this small clip, then I'm going to cut where I don't want it. So Command V, delete it over here. And then again, you're going to go up to the two small rectangles and press green screen. And this is what it looks like.
Try it. I like.
So it just adds the overlay, a little bit of personality. Once again, it's all about making the video yours and making it creative. All right, let's say I finished all the editing that I want to do in this video. I'm going to add my intro, which I already just have on iMovie. So I'm going to add my intro to the beginning, and then I'm going to add my outro to the end. So I'm going to slide over all the way to the end. And I'm going to add my outro. And that is about it. So say I'm happy with this video, I'm ready to export it. If you want to export it, you're going to press this little share button at the top right, and then you're going to export it as a file. It's going to ask you to name it, so you can name it whatever you want. Let's say I want to name it editing video. I'm going to press next. It'll take a minute to load, and then it's going to pop up here. It's just asking wherever you want to save it. So let's say I just want to save it to my YouTube folder and my vlog folder. Then I'm gonna save it, press save. And then I didn't know this at first, but at the top right, it's gonna have this little circle. This is it actually saving to your computer. So it'll take a little bit. You can see when it starts to go, it'll become like a white circle. So this is kind of just the progress of it actually downloading. It usually takes a few minutes. If it's a longer video, it'll take longer, but you can see it's already starting to download. All right, I am editing this video right now and I realized I didn't film an outro, so I wanted to quickly do that, but that is everything I do to edit my videos. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up before you leave, and also don't forget to subscribe. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.